Now the next question is question number 111, that is a table 1. In this question, they have taken certain amount of the mass, that is small body, that is attached to a vertical wire. They have taken a body that is attached to a wire. That wire is whirled along a vertical circle. That is means here I have taken a wire. For that wire I have added certain mass. Now that wire is whirled along vertical circle. The wire will break at what point? Whether at the highest point, or is at the left point or right point, or is lowest point. We have to check that one. At what point tension in the wire will be more. This is a general thing. We will come to know that one. When the mass is added to the wire and when it is whirled vertically, you will observe that one. Tension will be more at the lowest point. Tension will be more at the lowest point. At this point, tension is more. Tension in the wire is more. At this point, tension in the wire is more, so that at this point, there is a chance of break of the wire. Means that at the lowest point, the wire may break. Now the next question number is 112. The question is from the logic gates, that is nothing but semiconductor chapter. Now they have taken a LED, that is LED bulb, that is nothing but that behaves like output. And here they have connected two resistor. Here that is grounded, here that is connected across a positive source. Here there are two keys, and 0 like open, or else you can say that one as the off, not on. That is considered as the off. Again 1 is considered as the, if it is pressed here, you can say that one close, and you can say that one that is on. Here also the same thing. 0 means open, that is off. 1 means if it is pressed here, you can say that one as the close, and you can say that one on. Here when it glows, when the bulb glows, we will say that one as on. On means here, 1. Off means when it doesn't glow, we can say that one as the off, that is nothing but 0. On means 1, off means 0. Means that what are the possible inputs which are possible here? Here there are two inputs are there, that is A, here B. Now for any truth table, we can write the possible inputs, that is nothing but here possible inputs. What are the possible inputs? There are 0, 0, 0, 1. Next one is 1, 0, and the last one is 1, 1. Here LED is nothing but here output Y. Means that when A is open, that is A is off. Here 0 means open or close, open. A is open. Is there any flow of current across this one? No. When it is open, there will be no flow of current. If there is no flow of current here, here also there will be no flow of current. Means that through this path there will be no flow of current. Due to this one, there will be flow of current. Across the LED. Then when there is flow of current across the LED, then LED glow or it doesn't glow? Yes, it will glow. Means that we will say that one as the LED is on, bulb is on. On means what? 1. Next, second possible case, that is A is 0, B is 1. A is open but B is closed. When A is open, is there any chance of flow of current through this path? No. When there is no flow of current through this path, then there will be flow of current. Across the LED. When there is flow of current across the LED, then LED bulb will glow. We will say that one LED is on. On means we can make this one as a 1. Now A is closed, means that it is on. But B is open. Yes, up to here there may be flow of current. Is there any flow of current? It is incomplete circuit only. Still it is not complete. so that there will be no flow of current at all through this path. Due to this one, there will be flow of current across the LED. When there is a flow of current across the LED, the bulb will glow. We will say that one has the on. That is nothing but 1. Now, fourth case, A is 1. A is closed. Again, B is also 1. A is closed, B is closed. When both are closed, there will be chance of a flow of a current. The current will flow through this path. The circuit is complete here. Through this path, there will be flow of current. Then there will be no flow of current here. When there is no flow of current across the LED, then the bulb doesn't glow. Then we will say that one is off. Off is nothing but here 0. This output is only possible for which gate? AND gate or OR gate or NAND gate or NOR gate. There is nothing but this is only possible for the NAND gate. Yes, if you observe all the outputs of the OR gate, what is the OR gate possibility? 0 plus 0, 0. Is it OR gate? No. Next AND gate, 0, 0. What is the output there? 0 only. Is it AND gate? No. Next NOR gate, 0, 0, 1. Okay, it is right. We'll go for the next one. 0, 1. For NOR gate, what we'll get here? 0. But here 0 is there? No, 1 is there. Means that it is not the NOR gate. Next, we'll go for the, it is not the AND gate, it is not the OR gate, it is not the NOR gate. The final, fourth one is NAND gate. 0, 0. For the NAND gate, what is there? 1. 0, 1. Yes, 1. 1, 0, 1. 1, 1. 0. Yes, it is the right output for the NAND gate. So that this circuit represents the NAND gate circuit only. Next question number is 113. In this question, they have taken a cylindrical drum of radius 1 meter. Inside the drum, they have placed a block, which is indicated here. A block whose mass is equals to 10 kg. Mass of the block or small body, which is placed inside the drum, is 10 kg. Now, the cylinder is rotating vertically about its axis of rotation. The cylinder is rotating vertically about its axis of rotation in such a way that the black must be stationary. It should not fall downwards or should not move anywhere. It should be stationary with respect to the cylinder, so that what must be the angular velocity of the cylinder? What is the question? They have taken a cylinder. Inside the cylinder, they have placed a block whose mass is equals to 10 kg. The radius of the cylinder is 1 meter. There must be rotation of the cylinder. About its axis of rotation vertically. When it is rotating vertically, whatever the block which is placed inside the cylinder, that must be stationary. So that what must be the angular velocity of the cylinder? What must be the minimum angular velocity of the cylinder? That is omega is equals to what? Coefficient of friction is what? They have given coefficient of friction is 0.1. Now here, the mass of the block is 10 kg. Due to the one, there may be certain weight, that is nothing but mg, that is acting downwards, mg. Here normal reaction will be there. Normal reaction is nothing but it is a force which is acting perpendicular to the surface of the body, that is indicating here, that is normal reaction, perpendicular to the surface. Normal reaction is also one of the force. This is nothing but weight of the body. This must be balanced by the maximum friction. That must be balanced by the maximum friction. That maximum friction is given by what? That maximum friction is given by mu n. Means that this value must be balanced by this one, or this value must be balanced by this one. That is nothing but I can write mu n is equals to mg. What is n? Normal reaction. Normal reaction is nothing but I said that one has a force which is acting perpendicular to the surface. Normal reaction is nothing but a force only. Means that is a mass into acceleration. Here it is rotating about its axis vertically. Means that here there will be certain acceleration. That acceleration is given by omega square r. Is it right? A is equals to what? Omega square r. Now n is equals to m omega square r. Now substitute this normal reaction here, mu into m omega square r is equals to what? M into g. Here m gets cancelled. It is the remaining thing. Omega square is equals to g divided by if you take mu RHS, here it will be in the denominator, again radius. Here omega is equals to square root of g divided by mu r. Substitute the value of g mu r. What is the value of g here? 10. What is the value of mu they have given? That is 0.1. What is the r value they have given? 1 meter. That is nothing but you can make 10. If you take this one into the numerator, that is nothing but 1 divided by 0.1, that is nothing but 10 only. 10 into 10 is what? 100. Square root of 100 is what again? 10 only. Now the next question number is 114. In this question, they have given a tank whose height is equals to 2 meter. Height of the tank is equals to 2 meter, which is filled with the water. The tank is filled with the water. At the bottom of the tank, certain hole is there. Through this hole, certain amount of water is flowing. The area of the hole is, area of cross section of the hole is 2 millimeter square. 1 millimeter square is equals to 10 to the power minus meter square. 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter square. Now what we have to calculate? Rate of flow of water. What you have to calculate? Rate of flow of water means that what volume of water is flowing in 1 second. We have to calculate what amount of water is flowing in 1 second. We know the basic formula for volume. Volume is equals to we can write volume is equals to area into height. Shall I write? Volume is equals to V, capital V is here. Volume, A is area, H is nothing but height. Area into height, that indicates what? Volume. Now here we have to calculate the volume of the water. No, rate of flow of volume of the water, that is nothing but dV divided by dt. That is nothing but what? It will be A into dH divided by dt. Why? Because area is constant but height of the water that goes on changes. dH by dt, H is nothing but again distance with respect to time. What is that one? Velocity. Remember this one, capital V is the volume, small v is the velocity, A is the area. Rate of flow of water through the wall, through the pipe or else through the hole is given by area into velocity. How they given the velocity? Velocity is equals to V square is equals to U square plus 2AS. V square is equals to U square plus 2AS. From this one, you can make U square is equals to that is nothing but final velocity. What you have to calculate here? Final velocity or initial velocity? We need the velocity. That is with what velocity? Here we will have the initial velocity. Can you observe this velocity? Yes, we can observe that one, but that value is very less. Why? Because area is more, so that velocity will be less. Here area is less, so that velocity will be more. Here there is a decrease in height of the water, but you cannot observe the flow of water as you observed here. Why? Because the area is more. When the area is more, velocity will be less. So that is considered nearly equals to 0. So the initial velocity is equals to 0. 0 square is what? 0. 0 plus 2as is what? 2as. Here v square is equals to 2as. S is nothing but here height. S is nothing but height. A is nothing but acceleration. 2gh. Then v square is equals to 2gh. From this one, v is equals to square root of 2gh. Now substitute here, that is d rate of flow of water is equals to area into velocity. Velocity is equals to what? Into square root of 2gh. Area what they have given? 2 into 10 to the power minus 6. 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 into 2 into acceleration due to gravity. The general value take nearly 10 into height of the tank or else height of the water 2 meter. Now that is 2 into 10 20. 20 into 2 40. Square root of 40. If you observe the options, there is a variation nearly 3 to 4 value. There is variation 3 to 4 magnitude. So the square root of 40 is nothing but it is a square root of 40. Square root of 40 is nothing but that is nearly, you can take a 6.2. Now 2 6 are 12, 2 2 are yes, nearly 12.4 into 10 to the power minus 6. That is dV. This is the rate of flow of water. Now the next question number is 115, that is 115. In this question, they have taken a body that is shot from the bottom point of an inclined plane. The angle of inclination is 60 degree. The body has a traveled distance of x1. When the body is shot from the bottom point of the inclined plane, the body has a traveled distance of x1. Distance is equals to x1. Angle of inclination is equals to 60 degree. Velocity with what it is shot is nothing but initial velocity u. Now again the same body is shot from the bottom point of another inclined plane when the angle of inclination is 30 degree. There is same body and the body is shot with the same velocity. Same body with the same velocity, but the angle of inclination is different. The angle of inclination is 30 degree. When the angle of inclination is 30 degree, the body has a traveled distance of x2. That distance is nothing but x2. Now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the ratio of x1 and x2. That is nothing but x1 divided by x2. x1 is what? Distance traveled by the body on the inclined plane when the angle of inclination is 60 degree. Again x2 is nothing but it is the distance traveled by the body on the inclined plane when the angle of inclination is 30 degree. Means that here we have to find the ratio of x1 and x2. Now we know the basic formula, v square is equals to u square plus 2as. V is what? Final velocity. U is what? Initial velocity. A is what? Acceleration. S is what? Distance. Here final velocity of the body after traveling distance. Here also final velocity of the body after traveling distance, it will come to stop. Means that final velocity will be equals to 0. Here also final velocity will be equals to 0. 0 square, that is nothing but 0 only, u square plus 2 acceleration. When it is moving upwards or downwards, acceleration will be increase or decrease. When it is moving upward, there will be increase in velocity or decrease in velocity? Decrease in velocity. Hence we have to consider that one as a negative acceleration. If there is increase in velocity, we have to consider that one as a positive acceleration. Now whatever the acceleration is there, that acceleration is due to what? Acceleration due to gravity. That is nothing but acceleration due to gravity. If you split this one into two components, that is one is horizontal component, another one is vertical component. Horizontal component is nothing but g cos theta. Vertical component is nothing but g sin theta. Acceleration due to gravity is present along the horizontal component or is along the vertical component, both horizontal as well as vertical. whatever the acceleration due to gravity is there, that acts only along the vertical component. There is no acceleration due to gravity along the horizontal component. So the GH is equals to 0. Horizontal component of the acceleration due to gravity is equals to what? 0. Then whatever the acceleration due to gravity is there, that is clearly due to the vertical component only. Then in this direction means that is a positive acceleration or negative acceleration? Negative acceleration. So that you can make here minus g sine theta into s. That is nothing but 0 square is what? 0. That is u square plus into minus 2g sine theta yes. From this one you can make u square is equals to 2g sine theta into s. From this one s is equals to u square divided by 2g sine theta. Okay, s is equals to what? From the first case, from case 1. Now s is nothing but s is equals to u square by 2g sine theta. Now distance is nothing but x1 u square divided by 2g sine theta. What is the theta value there? In the case 1, there is nothing but 60 degree, sine 60 degree. That is nothing but, okay. Next, from case 2, again distance traveled by the body is nothing but x2. Again with same velocity, u square 2g sine theta. What is the theta value in the second case? There is nothing but 30 degree. What you have to calculate? x1 by x2. x1 is what? u square divided by 2g sine 60 degree whole divided by u square 2g sine 30 degree. Yes, if you observe this one, u square 2g, the remaining answer will be what? Sine 30 degree. Yes, if you take the reciprocal, sine 30 degree divided by sine 60 degree. Sine 30 degree value is 1 by 2. Sine 60 degree value is root 3 by 2. Here 2 gets cancelled. The remaining answer is 1 divided by root 3. x1 by x2 is equals to 1 by root 3, or else you can make this one as a 1 is to root 3. This is the right option. Next question number is 116. In this question, they have given a cylindrical conductor of radius r. They have given a cylindrical conductor of radius r, which is carrying a constant current of I. Then what we have to find out? We have to find the how the magnetic field is, how the magnetic field B is varying with the distance from the center of the cylinder. When the distance from the center of the cylinder increases, magnetic field remains constant or increases or decreases. We have to find the relation between the magnetic field with the variation of the distance from the center. That must be represented in a plot. That is nothing but a graph. Now, magnetic field inside the cylinder is given by magnetic field that is inside the cylinder is given by mu naught I d divided by 2 pi r square. Here r is radius, I is current, mu naught by 4 pi is proportionality constant. Then mu B inside is directly proportional to the B in is directly proportional to the distance. Is it right? Means that from the center to the surface, that is nothing but to consider as the inside. When the distance increases, magnetic field increases, that is nothing but directly proportional to the D. So from the center to the up to where? Up to the radius. We can draw this one. that is there is directly proportionality between the magnetic field and the distance. B inside is directly proportional to the distance. Next, B outside. How the magnetic field is varying outside. The expression for that one is given by mu naught I divided by 2 pi d. Here mu naught I divided by 2 pi. Here d is distance from the center, means that B out is varying inversely proportional to the distance. Inside is directly proportional, outside is inversely proportional up to radius r, that is directly proportionality. Once if you come outside and if you are measuring the magnetic field outside the cylinder, as the distance increases, magnetic field goes on decreases. That is indicated like this one. Means that up to r there is increase in magnetic field as the distance increases, that is directly proportional. But here as the distance increases, when you come outside the cylinder, there is nothing but inversely proportional to distance. As the distance increases, magnetic field goes on decreases. From this one you choose the right option. Now the next question number is 117. They have given a soap bubble of radius 1 millimeter. That is 1 millimeter is expressed in terms of the meter. Milli, in place of milli I have written 10 to the power minus 3 meter. The soap bubble is blown from a detergent solution which is having a surface tension P, that is equals to 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 2 Newton per meter. A soap bubble is blown from a detergent solution which is having a surface tension of 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 2 Newton per meter. The density of the water is given by 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. Acceleration due to gravity g is equals to 10 meter per second square. What you have to calculate? Pressure inside the bubble. At a point Z0. What you have to calculate? Pressure at a point Z0 is equals to what? That is pressure inside the bubble is given by 4T by R. T is what? T is nothing but surface tension. R is nothing but radius. P is nothing but pressure. From the pressure you can make rho g h is equals to 4T by R. Then rho g h, rho is nothing but density, g is nothing but acceleration due to gravity, h is nothing but at a particular point, there is nothing but z0. Rho g into z0 is equals to 4T by R. Substitute the values, that is z0 is equals to 4T by R into rho into g. 4 into surface tension is 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 2. Radius is 1 into 10 to the power minus 3. Density 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. Acceleration due to gravity 10. Now 10 to the power minus 3, 10 to the power plus 3. 4 into 2.5, that is nothing but 10. 10 divided by 10 gets cancelled. What is the remaining thing? 10 to the power minus 2 meter. Z0 is equal to 10 to the power minus 2 meter. But in the given options, they have given that is in terms of the centimeter. So that you make that is equals to 1 centimeter. Z0 is equals to 1 centimeter. Next question number is 118. They have taken a body which is placed on the surface of the earth at a point A. The radius of the earth is r. Now, what is the work done to move a body from surface to a point B where the height is equals to radius of the earth? What we have to calculate in this question? We have to calculate to take a body from the point A, that is nothing but surface, to a height h, that is equals to radius. If you want to move this body from point A to B, what must be the work done? This work done is nothing but a change in potential energy. This work done is nothing but what? Change in potential energy. That is a change in gravitational potential energy. Is there any change in gravitational potential energy? Yes, there is change in gravitational potential energy. That is gravitational potential energy at point A minus potential energy at point B. What is the potential energy at point A? Potential energy at point A is given by Gmm divided by R. At point A, from the center to this point, what is the separation? R. Minus again Gmm divided by, that is separation only from where to where? From the center to the point. From the center to the point, here R. Again that is H. H is equals to R only. R plus R. What is the total separation? Total separation is 2R. From this one, what you will get? Gmm divided by 2R. This is the work done. But if you observe the options, whether you got in this form, no, that is in the form of acceleration due to gravity. Now we know the relation between small g and capital G. That is G is equals to what? Gm divided by R square. Now here you can make this equation in the form of small g. Just multiply by R and divide by R. What it will be? Here there is nothing but Gm into R divided by R into R is what? R square. 2R square. Now Gm by R square. Shall I write that one as the small g? Yes, Gm R divided by 2. This is nothing but work done. You can make this one if you observe the option. It is mgr divided by 2. This is the work done to move. A body from surface to a point where the height is equals to radius. That is mgr divided by 2. Next question number is 119. If you observe all the option, whether it may be switch or fuse or conductor, inductor, you know the following working functions. What they have given? Which of the following acts as a circuit protection device? This is a very basic thing. Which one acts as a circuit protection device? That is nothing but a fuse. Fuse acts as a circuit protection device, but not the switch, but not the conductor, but not the inductor. Now the next question number is 120. In this question, they have given two particles A and B. Two particles A and B are moving along two concentric rings or as a concentric circles. The first ring is here. The radius of that one is RA. The radius of the first ring is RA. Next, second ring is there. The radius of the second ring is RB. Radius of the first ring is, or the first circle is RA. Radius of the second circle is RB. The first particle is moving along the first circular, and second particle is moving along the second circle with the speeds VA and here VB. Speed of the first particle is VA. speed of the second particle is Vb. In the given question, they have mentioned one condition. Time period of rotation of two particles is same. Time period of rotation of the first particle is equal to time period of the rotation of the second particle. In the question itself only they have mentioned. Then in this question, what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the ratio of angular speed of A to that of the angular speed of the B. We have to find out omega A divided by omega B. We know the angular speed formula. Angular speed is equals to what? 2 pi by t. Is it right? 2 pi by t. Then omega A is equals to what? Yes, 2 pi by ta. Omega B is equals to 2 pi by t b. Then omega A divided by omega B is equals to what? 2 pi by t A whole divided by 2 pi divided by tb. Here ta is equals to tb, means that 2 pi gets cancelled. Again ta is equals to tb only. Again these two gets cancelled. This is the remaining thing. 1 divided by 1. Omega A divided by 1 omega B is equals to 1 divided by 1. That is nothing but 1:1. Your option is 1:1. Here time period of rotation of the two particles is the same. So that here Ta, Tb gets cancelled. So that omega A by omega B is equals to 1:1. Now the next question number is 121. In this question they have given a parallel plate capacitor whose capacitance is equals to 20 microfarad, and they have connected to a source which is charging at a rate of 3 volt per second. 3 volt per second. What you have to calculate? Displacement current as well as conduction current in the wires. We know the basic formula. That is nothing but capacitance is equals to charge divided by potential. From this one, Q is equals to C into V. Here I is equals to dQ by dt. Is it right? A rate of charge. Next, rate of flow of charge is nothing but I. Then if you do the differentiation for that is d by dt of C into V. D by dt of C into V. That is nothing but C is constant, V is the varying with respect to time, so that is C into dV by dt. Now I is equals to C into dV by dt. I is equals to C into dV by dt. C is what? 20 microfarad. That is micro means 10 to the power minus 6 into, that is potential at a charging rate, that is nothing but a 3 volt per second. 3 volt per second. 3 2s are 6, 3 20s are 60 into 10 to the power minus 6. 10 to the power minus 6. I is nothing but, that is I is equals to 60 micro ampere. This is the current, that is nothing but a displacement current, which is also equals to conduction current in the wire between the parallel plates. If you take the parallel plate capacitor, whatever the displacement current is there, that is equals to conduction current. So that your option is, that is 60 microampere, again 60 microampere. Okay, here C is equals to Q by V. From this one, I is equals to dQ by dt. In place of Q, we have taken C into V, that is C into dV by dt. C is constant, V is varying, potential is varying. I is equals to C into dV by dt. If you substitute these two, we got 60 microampere. This displacement current is equals to conduction current in the wires in between the two parallel plate capacitor. Now the next question number is 122. In this question, they have given the diagram. By observing the diagram and by observing the values whatever they have mentioned in the diagram, whether it may be time period of revolution or that is nothing but a radius of the circle, by observing the equation, by observing the diagram, we have to find out the required equation. If you observe all the four options, the displacement equation is given by y is equals to r cos theta, or else we can make r cos omega t. Why? Because omega is equals to what? Theta by t. From this one, theta is equals to what? Omega into t. Now, also we know the formula, that is omega is equals to what? 2 pi by t. Okay. Now substitute this one, r cos 2 pi by time period into time. Now y is equals to we got r cos 2 pi by t into t. That is r is what here? Radius of the circle is what? 3. Cos into 2 pi divided by time period. Time period is equals to what? 4 seconds into t. Now 2 1 ja 2 2 ja 2 1 ja 2 2 ja. That is nothing but 3 cos pi t divided by 2. This is the displacement equation. If you observe all the four options, that is we have to find out the required equation for the given diagram. That is y is equals to r cos theta. That is nothing but y is equals to r cos omega t. Here omega is equals to 2 pi divided by time period. Time period of revolution is what? 4 seconds. That is nothing but substituted here. Here we got r cos pi t divided by 2. Choose the right option. Now the question number is 123. This is a direct question. They have given about the p-type semiconductor. What is the one? P-type semiconductor. There are two types of semiconductor. One is n-type, another one is p-type. But here they have given the p-type semiconductor. P-type semiconductor has the holes are the majority charge carriers. In the n-type, electrons are the majority carriers, but in the p-type, holes are the majority charge carriers. If you want to get the p-type semiconductor, means that holes must be the majority. Means that for what type of atom must be added to the pure semiconductor? For the pure semiconductor, there are 4 valency electron. For that one, if you add the trivalent atom, means that the one which is having the 3 valency electron, if you add that one, then there will be addition hole will be created. Means that if you want to make a p-type semiconductor, we have to add a trivalent atom. Trivalent atom is required to make a p-type semiconductor. P-type semiconductor has the holes are the majority charge carriers, and if you want to make the pure semiconductor as the p-type semiconductor, we have to add the trivalent atom to the pure semiconductor, so that the pure semiconductor will be p-type semiconductor.